really interesting. So today I'm just going to break it down briefly um, because I'm in the mood of discussing these matters. Technically, what we're assisting is three superpowers, which are China, the United States, and Russia, splitting the cake. China's going to get Taiwan. Russia is going to keep whatever they got in Ukraine, and the United States has a boner on Greenland. So, like, they're definitely getting Greenland and most likely Panama Canal as well. I think that Mr. Trump, as a businessman, would consider that as a fair deal. Like, if everybody gets some kind of territory, then everybody is a winner and nobody's losing, at least not the three major superpowers. Um, where does it leave Europe and the Middle East and South America? Well, I guess Africa as well. They have to form a bloc and they have to be aware of what's going on right now. Like, we're entering this bullying phase where the strongest is going to eat the weakest. Um, United Nations has no more value, and personal interests, national interests, strategic interests have taken over the democracy and the policies that we have been building and shaping since World War II. Obviously, the human being does need some kind of shock theory in order to wake up and maybe rewire its policies and its vision and direction. So, therefore, I strongly believe that all these major issues are going to be solved within the next 2 to 3 years in a very rapid manner. Here's one hint, because a lot of people were trying to know if there was a face behind the channel and behind the voice. Obviously, that's me. I'm Eunice. Nice to meet you guys. Very briefly, when it comes to Taiwan, I think I'm the first one to ever say it. Taiwan is going to fall down, like they're literally going to surrender because China is going to make a maritime blockade, okay, and an embargo, and Taiwan is a tiny little island where they cannot sustain themselves for more than 2 months, okay. There's no agriculture that will sustain the whole population of Taiwan, which is like almost 25 or 30 million people. I'm not really sure, but it's quite a lot of people. Therefore, it strongly relies on imports for meat, milk, pretty much everything. Okay, and if China, since they have been pushing strongly this military development, the marine and naval forces of China are increasingly growing, especially when it comes to aircraft carriers. And they're building, well, like I think 30 at the same time. So they're trying to double the amount of aircraft carriers of the United States. Not saying that they're better, but like the strategy is there. If you're building aircraft carriers, this means that you are about to project naval force. And the only reason why I can see China projecting naval force is by basically encircling Taiwan and making a maritime blockade, which will make Taiwan surrender after 2 3 months. Like, if the government doesn't surrender, the population will turn against the Taiwanese government because they're starving. So they will ask to join mainland China just because of that. It's very simple. So, following Shinju, the art of war, winning the war without losing a soldier, that's definitely what China is going to do with Taiwan. Nobody can even blame them because, like, they're just going to make an economic sanction. They're not going to kill people. So even the United Nations is not going to be able to stop it. And Trump doesn't really care because the United States is already building its own infrastructure of microconductors and chips. So at some point, they're ready to, you know, um, just let down the Taiwanese government, basically. Okay, so I guess that the United States is getting ready for it, and as long as they get Greenland and probably the Panama Canal, they won't mind China getting back Taiwan. So this is what's happening. This is my opinion. These three major superpowers are going to split whatever they're going to split. In the case of Gaza, we are not really sure because it's a religious war, so there is no logic involved anymore. There are fanatics in all sides. The WASPs, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants in the United States, are pushing for the return of Christ. The Jews are awaiting for their own Messiah and they need to rebuild the temple. And the Muslims are waiting for the Mahdi and the return of Jesus to correct the whole fallacy that was brought apparently after Christianity was taken over by Roman rulers. So, for these reasons, the Gaza problem may include a lot of fanatism, and there's no logic nor reason that is even capable of explaining the whole situation. So it's just going to be surprise after surprise. But in regards of like the issues of Crimea, Russia, Taiwan, China, Greenland, Panama, and United States, I think the issue is already solved. People are going to split the cake. Where like in the early 1800s, where the main superpowers are splitting the world again. It's just history repeating itself. And that was my 2 cents. See you guys next time. Take care.